Baby, Doug said he gonna hit it front to front, back, side, side. Girl, he love the way you. Hey y'all, it's your girl P Hope, and we are back with another Love After Lockup review. I am rocking the blonde hair in homage to Miss Lisa in my Coming to America voice. We are definitely going to get into the shit, but I had to go in the back of the closet and pull out this blonde wig because I said, you know what? If Lisa can rock these Kim Zolciak starter wigs, I know I can. I know you lying. But anyway, y'all, let's get right into the mess. So it started off this week with Stan still standing outside of this jail waiting on Lisa. So at this point, you know, he done already said that it's very, very cold out there wherever they are. I don't even remember where Stan lives or Lisa. But yeah, he's standing out there trying not to turn into a geriatric popsicle. And then Lisa finally brings her ass up out of the jail. So she comes out and he's like, you know, hey, how you doing? He tried to give a little, you know, he give a little 1-2, a little hop skip over there to her. You know, they're hugging and they're happy. And I looked at Lisa and I said, what? Now, y'all know Lisa had already warned Stan, had already warned production, and had already warned all of us that she has short hair and she looks like a little boy. But Lisa really did look like a little thick ass dude. Lisa looked like Leroy. And I said, wow, she really was not putting on for the gram. Like, she really looked masculine. Like, she even looked like she might have a little muscle and everything. So, you know, that was shocking. But Stan did not waver. You know, like he told her, he had been telling her over the phone that, you know, he don't care about none of that. It doesn't matter. I just want to be with you. And when he initially saw her, like, that was the vibe that I was getting, that he didn't care nothing about her looking like a little man. He didn't care nothing about that. All he wanted was his Lisa. He been wanting and waiting for her, and she's finally here. So yeah, they get in the car, and you know, Lisa's like, so, you know, how do you feel about the hair or whatever? And he was like, you know, I got you something back here in the back seat. And, you know, while he's reaching around back there trying to get the gals out the back seat, Lisa is telling him that, you know, yeah, you know, I went ahead and got this little buzz cut or whatever. He was like, the ladies seem to love it in there. And, you know, I love the ladies. So I'm like, okay. Like, at this point, we are very clear of one thing, is that Lisa is an open book. Lisa don't have nothing to hide. She done told us that she's a drug addict. She done told us that she done already been locked up 7 times. Now she's telling us that, you know, she likes to roll around in the sack with the girls. And, you know, Stan was like, look, you can like all the women that you want as long as you like this one man. And she was like, you know, baby, I got you. So I guess, you know, Stan is going to allow Lisa to go out and still play with the ladies or whatever. It's just long as she's bringing that ass home to him. I'm not really sure how that dynamic is going to work. But yeah, so at this point, like I said, he's reaching in the back seat. And he pulls out the first little blonde wig, and she was like, you know, it's okay. Like, you know, it'll do for a screw. And he was like, well, you know, I always wanted to know what you look like with dark hair. So then he pulled out the dark hair wig, and she was like, oh no. And he was like, you won't even put it on for sex, like for role play? And she was like, I might dress you up, but I don't really see myself putting this on. And I'm like, okay, Stan, now by the way that Lisa is talking to you, you are making my mind really wonder more and more exactly what it is that you get into. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so as they're going on and he's showing her the wigs or whatever, she finally decides which one she wants to put on. But before we get to that, they went to a confessional of her talking, and she had on this crinkly blonde wig, and I was like, yeah, that ain't right. So, you know, he had done hipped her up to some of the headband. It was the headband wig. So she was rocking the blonde headband crinkly wig, and I didn't care for it on her. I don't feel like that was really her. But as she had that wig on in the confessional, she was telling us how, you know, Stan is pretty much down for anything. She said her first interaction at his house, they went downstairs to the basement, and he has a dungeon, you know, similar to Miss Burris. Okay, yes, Stan has a dungeon. As soon as you walk in his dungeon, he has a black straitjacket that's like hanging up on this little rack thing. So I'm like, okay, that immediately lets us know that Stan is into dominatrix. Okay, so now I'm just kind of picturing him, you know, kind of swooping his toupee all the way over, maybe to the left or right, or even maybe he might even part that thing down the middle so that he can give like a nerdish vibe. Okay, so like part his toupee down the middle, put a dog collar around his neck, he put the straight jacket on, and then just kind of sit there, and he's waiting to be like, to be spanked and tortured. And you know, just, I don't know, maybe he have to lick like the shit crumbs out of Lisa's ass or something. Like, that's the kind of vibes that Stan was giving me, because y'all know he keep talking about some, you know, there is no limits. He does everything in the bedroom and outside of the bedroom. Like, you know, he's just ready to have Mr. Nasty time anywhere and everywhere, as long as he's doing it with Lisa. Because if y'all think about it, he hasn't really talked about any real morals and values that he just loves about Lisa. Every time he's really just getting excited to talk about Lisa, it's about something sexual. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out who's using who. That's just where I'm at with it at this point. But anyway, so by the time they flip from the crinkly blonde wig and I see Lisa again, she's slapping on this straight blonde wig, and then she pulling it back in a ponytail and putting a hat on. And I said, girl, like, all right, these starter wigs, I mean, it'll get you home, but I'm gonna need you to upgrade these starter wigs. Because see, Lisa, let me tell you what happened. Stan went down to the hair boutique and he paid $1,300 for them wigs, but they was really only supposed to be around $40 to $50. You know what I'm saying? So Stan got gypped, and it's okay because he can afford it, and he probably did think that he was buying some quality hair and that you was really gonna give us motherfucking Britney Spears or some shit. But you didn't pull it off. He didn't pull it off. So, you know, I blame Stan. And it's okay, because, you know, as you stay in the house and as you finesse him, you know, you'll probably be able to just continue to wear your bald head, or he'll just take you shopping so that you can pick out your own wigs. Because those wigs are not acceptable in God's eyes. They're not. But it's okay. We're gonna let you live for right now. So as they continue to ride, Lisa gets a phone call from her 22-year-old son, and he's like, soon as she got on the phone, he's crying. So I don't know how they knew Lisa was out and just able to talk, or whatever they had going on with that, but he called crying. And she's like, you know, what's wrong? And the son says that he just feels like nobody's there for him. He feels very much alone. And Lisa said that every minute that her children get, they tend to blame her for a lot of the distress, the negativity, and all the drama that goes on in their lives, because she has been such a shitty parent. And you know, you do have to take responsibility to that to a point, but you know, as you get older, we all have to take responsibility for our own actions as well. So you know, I do think that a lot of childhood trauma will follow people into adulthood. I completely agree with that. Like, some things, you know, are really just a result of the way that a person was raised, okay? But I would have to know more details of exactly the type of environment that Lisa's kids had to grow up in order for me to judge them that way. So you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know. I'm not gonna dive too deep into that because I don't know the story. But yeah, so of course, after she hung up with the son, you know, she pretty much just told him, you know, son, just keep your head up. You know, if you ever need to talk to me, I'm always here, da 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 da. And she hung up the phone. So when she hung up, Stan was like, you know, babe, are you okay? And of course, just hearing your son in distress like that, or your child in distress like that, like, no, you're not just finna go back to being happy-go-lucky, like, yeah, okay, you know, like, let's go party. No, like, that's still gonna be lingering in your mind, and you're gonna feel some type of way. So, you know, she's sitting on the passenger seat looking crazy, and he was like, he made some kind of sly remark, like, you know, where you'd be doing a lot better if you just get rid of your friends, your family, and, you know, and them kids, basically. And then Lisa looked over at him like, what? Fuck you talking about? And he was like, no, you know, not your kids, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like if you stop making all your people's problems your problems, you would end up essentially being a lot better. And I just kind of side-eyed Stan, because I'm like, my ninja, you said exactly what it was that you meant. You know what I'm saying? You would love for her to just be done with her kids, be done with her family, be done with her friends, because you feel like everybody that's around Lisa is a bad influence on her. So if you could get her to the point where it's just you and her and your money, then, you know, she probably won't run back to the streets. She probably won't run back to the drug addiction and all of the other crazy shit that she does. She's not going to be hanging with the people that get themselves into trouble, i.e. meaning she won't be getting in trouble. So that's what you would love for her to do. You would love for her to sit up in that house with you and them cats and that stale ass food that's in the refrigerator. But I don't think Lisa is going for that. Lisa is finna be out here still kicking it with her family, trying to, you know, do the best she can to repair her relationship with her children. And, you know, she's gonna be out here getting her some puss. So you might as well just get ready to deal with it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but you know, y'all, I don't know how long he gonna be dealing with it, because when it went to next week's episode, it looked like Stan about to be putting Lisa's ass out. So we'll just have to fasten our seatbelts and find out what's going on with that. But yeah, y'all, that was Stan and Lisa. Brittany and Ray. Okay, we pick up where we left off last week, where the van is driving off with Ray back in the damn prison van. And we figured out finally why the hell he had to be whisked right back away and go back to the prison, because Brittany and the Get Along gang, i.e. his family, was not supposed to be there at that bus stop. Ray was supposed to be there to get on a bus and go wherever the hell he was going. But since all his people were there, and you know, Ray couldn't even play it off and lie and say that those ain't his people, because they're all wearing identical matching Welcome Home Ray shirts. So, you know, it was absolutely no way to get around that. And there was no bus in sight anyway. So I don't know what the hell type of communication went wrong with that. But whatever the case was, Ray had to take his ass back to the jailhouse. So the daddy actually followed the van back to the prison, and then once they got on the property, they released Ray over to the family from there. So I guess it's some kind of, you know, legalities that go along with that, so they had to do it that way. But nevertheless, Ray is walking towards the rental car, and you know, Brittany is just overjoyed. So she takes off running towards him. They're hugging and kissing, and while the family is sitting in the car watching. And the stepmama, I think that was the stepmama, that was either the stepmama or the grandmama, was was like, woo, she kissing my baby. She done kissed him a couple times. And I was like, yeah, you know, Brittany is really ready to, you know, throw it back on your baby. But y'all cop blocking right about now. So she'll just have to get around to that whenever she get around to that. But yeah, so, you know, they let Brittany and Ray get all their lovey-doveys out the way. And then he makes it to the car, of course, where his family greets him with a warm welcome, a welcome home, whatever. And they finally load up the car and get moving. Now, they are definitely pressed for time. So they didn't have time to stop and do anything. But Ray did do a confessional, and he let us know in his confessional that, you know, when he was born, his mom and his dad were, you know, of course, together. They were in a relationship, and then at some point they split up, and he went with his mom. And so when he was around 5 years old, I think he said, his mom was tragically murdered while she was sitting in her car. And I was like, dang, you know, that's messed up. And he said to this day, they still have not caught the person that did this to her. So he said that, you know, that definitely angers him, and it's been that way ever since that happened to his mom. So he said, you know, of course he's had anger issues, and it has just turned him into this bitter type of person. So with that being said, as a teenager and then going on into his adulthood, he got involved with the wrong stuff. He said that he got involved with the crowd, and what they would do is break in these pharmacies and get these, of course, medical grade prescriptions, and they would sell the pills. And then at some point, he actually started using the pills, and he got addicted to them really bad. But now he's at a place to where, you know, he just wants a fresh start, you know. He's got Brittany on his side, who he feels like is a good woman, and he really does love her and want to be with her. And then of course his whole family is rooting for him to get out and do the right thing. So he's just done with that life. And I was like, okay, Ray. Now, from looking at the pictures, Ray, I thought Ray was really gonna give me thug life, you know, type of tease, but he didn't. Ray definitely gave me pretty boy, preppy boy, you know, like maybe I'm just kind of playing the role of, you know, this tough guy, because he definitely gave me spoiled vibes. Was I the only one? Like, Ray definitely gave me like I'm real high-key soft. That's what Ray gave me, and I didn't expect that. So I don't really know how to feel about it. I don't know if I'm like happily surprised about it, or am I like, bruh, how long did you have to do in there? And what, was you okay? Did you make it out okay? Like, I don't really know how to feel about Ray right now. I mean, I like him as a person, but I'm gonna get back to y'all with Ray, okay? But anyway, that was Brittany and Ray for this week. Rachel and Doug. Let me tell you something. Rachel and Doug just started OnlyFans. Just started OnlyFans because, let me tell y'all, they are two horny mugs. Like, they are definitely two horny ass toes. Like, all they could talk about was getting it in.
Pop that shit, mama.
Baby, bend it over, make it talk to me.
Baby, bend it over, make it talk to me.
Do a conversation, let it talk.
So like I said, They're both extremely horny, and in true love after lockup fashion, they pull over to this hotel room, even though they are pressed for time. Y'all know he was bitching and whining about not being able to go to the hotel. So this is the part that he was talking about. Rachel made time for them to go get a room really quick so that, you know, she could spread them legs. So as soon as they get in the room, he done jumped all up on top of her. Mind you, he already had his hand up her skirt in the car, because that's all he could think about. That, you know, he has been dreaming and fantasizing of tearing his wife up ever since the day that he put the ring on her finger. So now is the time. He is ready to put the on Rachel, okay? So like I said, in true love after lockup fashion, they get in the room, they start kissing and rubbing and touching all over each other, and then they say, okay, that's it, it's time, y'all gotta go. They put production out of the room and immediately start getting it in. I said, damn, didn't nobody want to take a bird bath, jump in the shower and just take a whole shower, you know what I'm saying? Just hit them hot spots and hop on back out. Like, nobody wanted to do none of that. Like, Rachel put that jailbird dick of doom in her mouth, because he told on her when they got out there to the car, because they did take the time to take a shower after they got done getting it in. And Doug let us know that, you know what I'm saying, that was some really good, you had some good pum pum. I enjoyed that doggy style, and I definitely enjoyed, you know what I'm saying, that lip service that you gave me. And Rachel really didn't know how to feel about him saying it on camera, but she went along with it like, you know, okay, great, you know, I'm glad my mouth can be of service to you. Yeah, like, that's how she felt about it. But you know what I'm saying, Doug didn't give a damn, because he let us know in his confessionals that, look, you know, I've never been in a serious relationship. I ain't even never been studying being in no serious relationship, but it's just something about Rachel. Like, I've never had anybody that could captivate me the way that she has and made me really want to settle down. And then once he got to the house, you know, he was just in awe of the way that he lived and the way that he was going to be able to live. And he said that the type of house that Rachel lived in, he would never be anywhere close to that unless it was a situation where he was going to rob the joint. So, you know, he definitely comes from poverty, from how he was trying to explain it to us. So he said, with knowing the environment that he's going to be able to build his relationship in and grow his marriage in with Rachel, but more importantly, the environment that little Dougie is being raised in is just, you know, it's eons away from where they both came. So he said that he would be a damn fool to mess this situation up, and he's not going to, and it's him and Rachel and little Dougie all the way. And so I was really glad to hear him say that, and it actually changed my outlook about Doug, because y'all know I was prepared to drag him from here to kingdom come, because I just knew he was gonna get out and be an asshole from start to finish, and he hasn't shown that so far. He's acting like he got some sense so far, so you know, I have to take him at his word. I gotta take him where he's at. So I ain't gonna, not too much on Doug right now, okay? I'm actually team Doug at this second, but it can flip up at any given time. So you know, just keep doing what you do, Doug. Then we get introduced to our newest couple, and I think that's going to be the last couple that we get in this particular group of cast members, and that is Miss Anisa and Mr. Jeff. Okay, we meet Anisa riding in the car with, I think that's her sister, and I think the sister's name is Patty. I could definitely have all of this information wrong, but we're gonna roll with it for now. And yeah, so they're riding in the car and they're talking about going to look at these wedding dresses and stuff. And you know, she's talking about how her and Jeff have been in a relationship for the last 11 years. And, you know, it's definitely been some ups and some downs. But now, it's now or never, you know. Annisa feels like her and Jeff's relationship is closer than it's ever been. And yeah, so she's ready to do a little shopping. I think this will be her third marriage, if I'm not mistaken. You know, she definitely wanted us to know that she is a cougar, okay? She said that when she was 29, she married a young man that was only 19. And he had a little coin. I think she said that he had a little coin. But she said that this particular time, like, it was definitely all about the looks for her. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember how her and Jeff met, but all she know is she saw this fine ass man, and she had to do what she had to do to get a hold to him. So she does understand that Jeff is as broke as somebody's legs that has to be in a cast. She understands that, but she said it's the looks for her. It's the looks for her. So as long as Jeff can continue to sit there and look fine and, you know, occasionally come through and put the peen on her, she's ready to go down the aisle, okay? So they make it to the bridal shop, and y'all, they went to the bridal shop, and Annisa ass was in there putting on dresses. And of course, you know, the little hostess of any bridal shop that you go in, they always want to ask you, like they want to know the story of how the couple met. So, you know, Annisa is like, oh, well, you know, I think she said that I don't remember how they met, but I know Annisa said, well, you know, he's locked up, he's in prison. And the girl was like, what? Then Annisa went on to say that Jeff doesn't even have a motherfucking clue that she's in there picking out these wedding dresses. So now at this point, the wedding girl is just like, hold up, bruh. Hold up. You mean to tell me that you in here wasting my time trying on wedding dresses for a man that doesn't know that he's about to be married? And she said, yeah. But then that's when Patty chimed in and was like, well, I don't think that any of that is going to happen, because this is not the first time that she's done no stupid shit like this. This is actually the third time. So then the girl was like, so, ma'am, he's already stood you up 2 times and you about to do this again? And Annisa said, yeah, but I just know he's not going to stand me up this time. Like, this time, he's going to show up. And the girl couldn't even contain herself. She had to just come out and say it. She said, you're crazy. She said, that sounds crazy. Ma'am, I'm not calling you crazy. And then Patty was like, baby, you don't have to be apologetic. That bitch is crazy. Like, who marries somebody? Who plans a wedding that the other person don't know about? Besides Annisa. Let me know. I'll wait. Girl. So anyway, after that scene was over, Annisa took her crazy ass home with her wedding dress. And her friend Kyle is over there. So now she's telling Kyle about the fact that Jeff ass is getting ready to come home in the next 18 hours. And so Jeff was like, okay, cool. So, you know, where you got to go pick him up at or whatever. And she was like, well, I don't know, because I haven't talked to him in about 3 or 4 days. And so at this point, Kyle was looking like, okay, so he's scheduled to come home in the next 18 hours and you haven't talked to him? And she was like, yeah, but you know, we do stuff like that all the time. Like, he goes a little while without talking to me because he can only get 1 phone call a week. And so Kyle was like, are you sure that this situation sounds right? Because it ain't sounding too right to me. And she said, just stay right there. Like, just wait a minute. And she went in that room and came back with that goddamn wedding dress to show Kyle. And he said, well, what the fuck are you doing with that? And she said, well, you know, I wasn't, you know, I don't know. We're getting married. Like, we're about to get married when he comes home. And Kyle was like, okay, what you mean, like, when he comes home? And she said, well, I would like to do the wedding immediately. And at this point, that's when Kyle just said what the fuck we was thinking. Kyle was like, you know, this is the craziest shit that you've ever done in your life. That's first of all. But second of all, is this man even real? And y'all, Kyle was the second person to throw out there that Jeff ass is probably not real. So this had me thinking, like, is Annisa a little bit thrown off? Like, is there something that we need to know about Miss Annisa? Like, does her elevator not go all the way up? Or, you know, do y'all catch her walking around talking to herself and answering it type of tease? Is it giving Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Is it giving Sybil? Like, Annisa is bothering her friends and family with her antics, and she's starting to bother me, and I don't even know her. So I'm just trying to figure this thing out. So anyway, after Kyle gets done cussing Annisa ass out, you know, he went on about his business, and it's showing the clip from next week of Annisa pretty much standing right outside the bus stop. I'm assuming it's the bus that Jeff's supposed to be getting off of. She done made her a damn welcome home Jeff poster, and it looks like the bus is motherfucking empty. So I don't know if Annisa needs to be getting prepared to be stood up for the third time, or is this gonna be, what's my girl from last season? Y'all know I can't never think of nobody's name when I need to remember it. But y'all remember, it was the she had the young inmate who was working over at the hotel, and he was sleeping with all the prostitutes over there at the motel while she was over there at the trailer smoking a carton of cigarettes a day. But like, I feel like that's probably kind of the vibe that Annisa and Jeff is about to be on, because if Jeff is actually a real person and he comes home to Annisa, you know, from the vibe that I'm getting, Jeff is about to be out here running these streets. He about to be out here running amok. But like I say, that was just the intro for Annisa and Jeff, so we'll just have to see what they got in store. Last but not least, Mr. Deontay and Nicole. All right. Nicolle is at home with her mom. Y'all remember she decided not to go to Deontay's house the night that she got out. So she took her shower and she started texting with Mr. Zach. Okay, she started texting with Mr. Zach, and then she took her ass to bed. So it's the day after, and her mama is actually bleaching her hair. Okay, you know, her roots had grew out, so she wants to continue to be a blonde. So her mama is applying a little bleach in her hair so that she can go for this look that I got going on, because her roots was looking much like this wig, okay, and that's not the look that she was going for. As her mom is doing her hair, she was like, you never really let me know how you felt about you know, me being married to a woman. And so Nicolle was like, yeah, well, you know, it's just still kind of strange for me, because I went from calling this lady my aunt and looking at her like in that way of a family member, to now having to look at her as my stepmom. And her mama was like, well, you know, it's nothing wrong with that. Like, sometimes the best person to be in love with is your best friend. So I was like, you know, look, I get it. We live in a world where you love who you love these days. You know, it is what it is. But Nicolle was a bit thrown off with that. But you know, yes, Nicole's mom is in the LGBT community, and you know, she's just trying to get adjusted to that situation. And then her mama was like, yeah, okay, so enough about my relationship. What's going on with you and Mr. Deontay? So Nicolle was like, well, you know, I love him and all, but I just still feel like I have some unfinished business going on with my ex. And her mama was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, you know, we were still dealing with each other at the time that I got locked up. So it's just like those feelings don't just go away. So, you know, even though, yeah, I'm with Deontay, it's just like I'm not willing to just exclusively be with him. Like, I still want to see what's up with other people. And her mama was just like, okay, well, you know, you're young, so it's nothing wrong with that, but you just need to be honest and open with Deontay about that. And she was like, you know, yeah, I'll let him know when the time is right, but you know, I'm gonna tell him eventually, but I'm just gonna continue to let him take care of me for right now. And she said it just, you know, it just slid off her mouth like butter on a hot knife. Like, that was some cool shit to say. Like, pretty much, I'm just going to keep using him for right now. That's pretty much, you know, what she was saying. So her mama was, you know, her mama was side-eyeing her like, in one hand, she was looking like, I ain't raised you to be like that. But on the other hand, she was like, well, you know, shit, you young, child. What can I say? I was married to a man when before you got locked up, and now I'm married to a whole woman. So I mean, hell, who am I? So while Nicolle and her mom are in the house doing all this, Deontay's ass is actually on the way back over there because he is determined to pick Nicolle up and take her back to the crib so he can smash them cakes. Okay, so he can smash them cakes. When he gets over to the house, he's immediately looking crazy because of all of the Halloween decorations that her mom had out around the house. So he comes in and the mama was like, you look scared. You look like you're scared. Like, come on in. Now, like, how you doing? Let me look at you. That's how the mama is. You know, she just real down to earth with him. So he comes in and mama immediately says, you know, like, can we talk? I want to go talk. And so he was like, yeah, you know, let's talk. Let's get to know each other. They go over to the sofa and sit down. And he's like, you know, I really love your daughter. And it's like, for me, when I meet girls and I really like them, like, I just want to marry them. And the mama was like, how many girls do you have? And he was like, oh no, I just mean Nicolle. I'm only dealing with Nicolle, and I can assure you that I'm only dealing with Nicolle because I got a trick for that. You know what I'm saying? I got a fix for that. And the mama just still looking at the straight face like, okay. And he was like, I got me a little toy. I got me a little sex toy that I deal with, and it's called Nicolle Jr. Mama was not impressed. Mama was not impressed. And, you know, on one of the little short clips, Deontay went through this whole spiel about Nicolle Jr. and he let us know that Nicolle absolutely cannot stand Nicolle Jr. She thinks it's stupid. She thinks it's nasty. And she thinks it's weird, which a lot of us think is weird. I'm actually okay with him having a toy because it's a very common thing and it's a very normal thing for people to have sex toys. You know, they make all different types of toys. He just threw me off when he put the bitch in the dishwasher. And then he put the bitch in the dishwasher with the dishes. Like, that's where he went wrong with me with Nicolle Jr. But Nicolle and her mama are just not here for the toy. And so that did not get any brownie points for him, but they continued to talk. And as he ran that mouth, he messed around and told the mama that they were engaged. So at this point, the mama was furious. She was like, engaged? Like, do you think that, you know, y'all have known each other long enough to be engaged? And he was like, you know, I asked her and she said yes. And I'm like, Lord, this was not how you were supposed to do that, Deontay. But whatever, you done let the cat out the bag at this point. So Nicolle, her mama went back there where she was at, and she was like, so Nicolle, when the hell was you gonna tell me that you was engaged? And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm not engaged. So then she comes out into the living room and she pretty much let Deontay ass have it. She was like, why the hell would you tell my mom that we're engaged and you know good and damn well that we're not? And he was like, how would I not know that we're engaged when I bought you a ring? You accepted my ring and you told me that we could get married. And he was like, my words verbatim was, when I put the ring on your hand, was, well, you might as well marry me now. And you said that you would. I'm like, damn, bro, that's how you proposed? And Nicolle was like, listen, yeah, you snuck the ring in there and I put it on my hand, and as for me, I just looked at it like, shit, yeah, now I'm walking around in here in the jail with something that ain't nobody else got. Like, that's it, point blank, period. Like, that's all that the ring meant to me. The ring didn't mean a thing. That was it. And she was like, you already know that if you're serious about proposing to me and you want to marry me, I gotta go get a real ring and I'm gonna pick it out and it's gonna be what I want. And so at this point, he don't know if he should just get up and leave, if he can just go find a tree or something to hide behind to let out a couple of tears, because he was like, man, you know, it's like yesterday she was a freaking sweetheart and today she's just some blonde haired bitch. And he didn't say that, I'm saying that, but that was the thought process that he was having. And he was like, you know, this relationship is starting to seem a little one-sided, but you know, I done came too far and I done did too much for this girl to just give up right now. So, you know, I'm not gonna be done with Nicolle, but you know, we're gonna have to straighten some stuff out. So we'll see how much straightening Deontay get, child, because at this point he still ain't got Nicolle ass over there to the apartment, and he done already rubbed her and her mama ass wrong. Okay, so because he rubbing their ass wrong, we don't know if he gonna get to rub ass at all. So that was this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed the review as much as I enjoyed doing it. This is your girl P Hope, and you already know I want you to be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Somebody go find Lisa some more wigs.